5 lights, 4, 3, 2, and 1.
And it's lights out and away we go!
It's a really, really quick start. The lights going out almost instantaneously. The front runners all really close together. On board as Moss looks to make a move on Blocky. Gets it done. The braking into turn 1. It's looking close. Leroy gets the inside. But then Moss gets it for the next corner. Leroy is right there next to him. This is close. Callum Ultra's got a great little lead at the minute, but everybody seemingly away sensibly. Leroy throws it up the inside. Moss gives him the space. Leroy does a nice little cutback. Wow, this is some phenomenal racing from the top 3 guys. It's looking clean so far. Some spaces starting to form, but we have a few guys on medium tyres. Do not forget that. We can see we've got Blocky on medium tyres. We've got Seamus on medium tyres as well. A few people in different positions up and down the grid. Everybody away well. What a lap 1. Some great driving, great overtakes, but ultimately everyone away cleanly.
Yeah, and I don't want to jinx anything, but I think that's probably the first lap we've had with 0 issues. Very clean, very respectful from everybody, which is great to see. Big winners then off of that first lap. VXR is up 4th places, he's in 10th. Mello is at an
comment to delete in the chat, please.
I think it's a typo.
Hopefully so. Good to see you, Sam Prince and DXN Jones. Here we are then. We're on board with Wicked Moss. The gap's starting to form at the minute. Let's have a little look a bit further down the field.
Oh, little nibble on one of the walls.
Oh, it looks like it is at a bit of end plate. It looks like Sinister is able to get past him as well. You can just see it on the front left.
Yeah, it's maybe a move he should have done. His teammate is on softer rubber.
Oh my goodness me!
One of those where he wanted to let him.
He
pass,
comes into the pits.
It's obviously significant enough that Blocky wants to pit.
He comes into the pit lane. What's he going on? Hard tyres. Got to be, needs to go long into the race here. Get his head down, keep it sensible. He should be more than fine. So we got Adam Hansen in the pit lane as well. He's got a bit of damage to his front wing. He is putting on another set of soft tyres by the looks of things. But back towards the top of the leaderboard, we can see Callum Ultra currently got just under a second gap. BLT Leroy sitting in P2. He'll be more than comfortable with that. His closest contender is going to be Callum Ultra for the championship. He won't mind just missing out on a few points at each race. That's all he needs to do. Sinister's had a good start up into P4. Let's have a little look at position changes. So you can see Leroy and WKD Moss are all up a place. Sinister is up 2 places. The biggest winner out of that is Mellow Cover, a staggering 9 places on the opening few laps. He's up into P9 at the minute with that grid penalty. Phenomenal effort from him to get up there.
Ellis making some moves as well. He's eliminated 3 of his place losses. He's back up to P11 now.
It seems like Mello made a move as well on Agent. He's on the charge. Absolutely on the charge.
Fire in his belly.
Love to see it. There we go. We'll have a look at their tyre life. So you can see the guys on medium tyres just dropping back a little bit into a race of their own. It's looking pretty close here. Storm Twister, Mellow and Fresh Agent all really close and bunched up. It's getting tricky. Look at that. There's what, 6 cars all with almost less than a corner in between them. It's going to get interesting for sure. These guys need to make sure they're keeping it clean, plan their overtakes, because the likes of VXR and MK2LS are going to start making some moves with those soft tyres, as VXR does exactly that on Fresh Agent. A move down the inside, looking to work those soft tyres. And here comes the DRS train. Mello is on one. Welcome to everybody. Sassy Wolves, Official King, Lil Watty. Good to have you all in here. What a race start it has been. Everybody away rather cleanly. Oh, there, I thought I saw some damage happening there. I thought I saw a bit of damage front wing. Did I see that right? It seems like everybody's wing seems to be okay. Or is it Mertzy's front wing? It seems to be Mertzy has a little bit of wing damage on the front right. We'll have to wait for the camera change. No, it looks okay. Seems to be alright. Everyone is seemingly... I could have sworn I saw something fly off up in the air. Indeed, sound alerts are turned off for the race, my friend.
Yep, Agent getting mugged by people on soft tyres here. Very, very slowly going backwards. But as I say, there is this train in front.
VXR
goes all the way from Mello in 8th. Yeah.
VXR is the one that I'm really looking at the minute. We're on board with Mello cover. VXR and those soft tyres seem to be a very, very solid duo at the minute. He's going to get DRS here. Going to be making a move now. Has he got enough on this straight? He pulls out. He's got it. He's got enough, surely. Mello's going to leave him the space. Good. Solid driving from the two of them there. VXR gets the move done, and he's going to begin hunting down the rest of the drivers on medium tyres. Whilst he's making all of these places up, he will have to go into the pits a lot sooner. Medium tyres, I think, are definitely the best race tyre for that longevity and that nice balance between sort of longevity and tyre grip. If you were a McLaren driver, AJ, right now, would you maybe look at some potential team orders?
It's difficult, isn't it? I mean, I would. I think you've got to let the faster guy on the soft tyres get as far kind of into the race as possible. I know you generally, the first rule of motor racing is you've always got to try and beat your teammate. But if there's a strategy change like this, especially when you are potentially looking at a constructors fight, maybe up the table or something like that, you do have to think about what your teammate can do for you at this point. Even if Storm Twister is confident that his strategy is going to end him out in front, if he doesn't do sort of VXR a favour now to potentially go off and sort of
I
hold
think
back
it's
a few
going to
of
be
his
done.
rivals,
It's going to be done. That DRS and the soft tyres have got it done. They're fighting side by side. Storm Twister makes the sensible and wise decision.
yeah, he didn't fight that too hard, did he? Once
No,
he realised it was his teammate.
Great understanding
as
there.
I said, it's more of a case of what can your teammate do for you. In the
That's
case
it.
of Storm Twister's case, as I said, if he thinks that his strategy is going to put him in front of VXR on the road, the least he can do is kind of let VXR do some of the dirty work for him. Get in and amongst Seamus, Flecky, Sinister, try and hold those up a little bit. But whilst also, again, just you've got to have the interest of the team at heart as well. Obviously,
It's released him now, hasn't it?
Yeah, as I say, holding your teammate back, I should say, and hurting his tyres. Generally, he's going to hurt the amount he can put points on the board for your team in the constructors table as well. So, a lot to think about for these guys.
Well, it seems VXR is now on the hunt for Seamus Mir as well. Seamus, the last of the front runners to be on medium tyres. VXR, as we look at position changes, has gained a whopping 7 places through some phenomenal overtakes. He's got DRS at the minute, hasn't quite got enough to make the move here. He'll be patient, he'll be waiting. He will bide his time, I can promise you that. He will not make drastic lunges. He is very sensible about where he chooses to make his overtakes. We can see lots of close racing up and down the grid though. MK2 Ellis now getting pretty close to mellow cover as well. There we go, let's get that tyre data on you. The great thing as well, no DNFs. I know we've had a couple of bumps and scrapes, but no total DNFs, no safety cars, no VSCs. A great start for all the drivers involved. This could be it right here. Here he makes the move. It looks, he's breezing past. Job done if ever I have seen it. Easily done. Sheamus won't give it up easy, but I just do not think he has. There's anywhere near the same level as grip
and
to
this
compete.
goes back to what we were talking about before. Like, how much better would this track be if Sheamus had the DRS now? But the fact that now
Absolutely.
he's got through those corners in front, he's got track position, and he gets the benefit of DRS now. It doesn't make sense to me. It really doesn't.
Fresh Agent has a 3-second time penalty, multiple warnings, looking to push the track limits a little bit too much. Let's have a little look at WKD Moss. He currently sits under a second to BLT Leroy. Now whether he can get close in the DRS range here, Moss is naturally going to be pushing for as many points as possible as the pit window opens. People on the soft tyres, lap 10 to 13 is the ideal time to come in and stick those medium tyres on, as a few start to come in. We can see Flecky's come in, Sinister has come in. They're much further down the grid. Let's have a quick look. So we can see they're on medium tyres. Both of them go onto the mediums to make their strategies work. The rookie, MK2 Ellis, right behind mellow cover, has been for the past few laps. He's on the grippier soft tyres, but just cannot seem to find a way past him. We'll be keeping an eye on that, that's for sure. How racy is Moss looking right now though? Wow, really looking to wring the life out of these soft tyres. Leroy probably feeling a little bit of pressure right now.
Yeah, and as I say, especially the mood Leroy's in. Obviously hasn't had the best of luck over the last few races as well.
No.
He came in the chat to say earlier that he's banking on points, and at the end of the day, points is what he needs. He can't really afford to start throwing away big chunks to Callum Ultra, as all three of them take the opportunity to
All
pit.
three dive
covering each
into
other.
the pit lane. So what is Moss going to go on here? He goes on to medium tyres. Leroy goes on another set of softs.
Another set of softs.
Very,
What did Callum
very
Ultra do?
interesting.
Callum
He's out
Ultra
on
is on
mediums.
a set of medium tyres.
This is going to be interesting, but what makes it even trickier is they are now coming out into traffic. So they are coming out into traffic that are yet to pit as well. You can see the guys on 10-lap-old tyres, the guys with a fresh set of boots on. They've got to be careful here. They've got to be really, really careful. You can make an overtake, but it's also knowing that those guys are going to be heading into the pit lane any lap now. So do you risk it? It's that risk or reward. You know you've got more speed. You know you've got more grip than the guy in front of you, but do you risk making that move, that lunge for that track position when you know that they're going to go for it?
You've got to think long term. You've got to make sure that you get past these guys. Yes, you don't want to limit the time, but a few temps here or there, or even a couple of seconds is nothing compared to 20 seconds in the pit stops with a wing change.
Absolutely, I couldn't agree more. As for your Brundle bingo cards at home, You cannot win the race on the first few laps, but you can certainly lose it. That is for sure. It seems, though, Storm Twister and Sheamus are staying out at the minute. If you get a clear enough run...
Yeah, well, the important thing is that Storm Twister, as they were coming up and these guys were making their pit stops, he made the move on Mello. So he is kind of in pole position in that kind of next pack. So he's right all over the back of Sheamus. These two guys obviously battling for that sort of first slot in the rest.
Here comes Callum.
He's getting a little bit impatient here. We've seen last couple of races have been a test of Callum Ultra's patience, and we've seen a couple of times he's just gone a little bit too excited.
Absolutely, we saw it last week as well. The battle between Blocky and Vader. Blocky just had to wait for Vader to go into the pit lane. He was on the hard tyres, had to just bide his time, tried to make a move round the outside of a really, really tricky tight corner. Ended in a collision and cost him the race. It was a very silly move. Whoa, Leroy and Moss getting really close to each other there.
A late move from Leroy there, over to the left, nearly caught Moss out. Luckily he was aware enough that he kind of almost saw it coming. It's a very weird kind of sense you get.
This is it's getting tricky as I think Mello comes into the pits. Mello gets out of it. Oh, it was Sheamus.
I think Mello wanted to, but of course he just saw his teammate dive in, and that instantly a one more lap situation. So Leroy should be right in here on the brakes.
Oh,
send it.
No, I think he's being sensible. Maybe waiting for the next part. Callum Ultra though looks like he's going to get the move done on Storm Twister. It's for Storm Twister. Sensibly yields. He's getting pretty close, but this is getting close. This is getting dangerous. Leroy gets the move done on Mellow cover further behind as well, and it seems like he even gets past Storm Twister.
Yeah, but the move on Mello was very optimistic from Leroy. He knew he was on soft tyres or against old mediums. Just had so much grip around the outside. Sometimes it's not always the inside that you want to prize. You know the guy hasn't got the grip, and you have just around the outside. But yeah, good for him to get. It was important, I think, for him to get Storm Twister and Mello as quickly as possible. You can now have a proper good go at Callum Ultra on softer rubber.
Let's not forget as well, BLT Leroy is on soft tyres, so is expected to get past Callum Ultra here. But with the second round of pit stops due a little bit later on in the race, Callum Ultra will be in the prime spot as he'll be able to stick on a brand new set of softs. Leroy gets the move done into turn one. Callum needs to be sensible here, needs to understand that things are going to go his way in the final few laps. A few penalties being dished out for some corner cuts by the look of it, multiple warnings. Let's have a look a bit further down the grid. Adam Hansen and Redding a bit further back at the minute. Recently pitted as well. Mr. Nobody on hard tyres going all the way to the end. But shout out to Blocky as well. Currently 10 lap old hards, sitting in P9, just going about his business, but it does look like he has front wing damage. You can see it there on the front left. There is an end plate missing. That is going to be hurting him massively. Really going to be hurting his race. But he's holding on. MK2 Ellis is going to be behind him. Right on his gearbox. 2 lap old mediums. Just needs to be patient and bide his time here. As Blocky makes a rather audacious sort of move. Just be patient here. I'm pretty sure on the DRS straight, Ellis will have his moment.
Yeah, it's a bit of an odd place to make a move there. You really want to be that second car going through the stadium section, because otherwise you're just going to be a sitting duck down here.
That's it. Move done then.
Blocky goes defensive, but Ellis just has the overspeed. He's done before they even get to the braking zone. That's what you've got to do. You've got to think 2, 3, 4 corners ahead. There's no point You don't really want to be leading through the stadium section. A, you don't get much of a benefit, but B, especially knowing how those DRS straights are set up, you do not want to be the guy that has to go down that with full aero.
You can see though, MK2 Ellis just locking his rear tyres a little bit through some of these corners. But he's driving well. He's driving really well. Impressing on debut.
Yeah, I say he's a very, very cool head. That's what's impressed us about him up until this point. He's a very, very cool customer. He knows when or where not to make moves. He knows what battles to fight and which ones to not. He's a very, very, very shrewd operator. But going back to
Flecky and Moss. Oh, has Flecky got the move done? Oh, they're side by side.
Wasn't quite a patented Flecky dive bomb, was it? But a lot of respect between these two.
Wow, great driving between the two there. They're still side by side. Look how close this is.
Yeah, the DRS just giving Flecky the edge. Moss conceding into that corner.
That is some phenomenal
Again,
driving.
That's the point I was going to make about stuff ruining your race. Moss must have been very, very relieved when Mello went into the pits. I think he must have been praying for Mello to pit.
Storm Twister.
Oh, there's Storm Twister.
A DNF. What has happened to Storm Twister? Oh my goodness me. Oh my goodness me. What has happened with Storm Twister there? It looks like a collision with the wall. It's a yellow flag in Sector 3. Not seeing any car wreckage yet. Be careful through Sector 3, we're not quite sure. It's all clear, looks like green flag. Wow, what has happened there? Indeed. The Storm Twister does not finish the race for all those guys that voted no. They are, they're sitting pretty right now.
Yeah, hopefully he will come in at some point once obviously he's got a little bit of the frustration out, but hopefully he will come in and say sort of what happened. We didn't see it.
No, we didn't see it.
As soon as I saw the message, I looked down and the car was in the pit lane. So
he's not, as he comes into the chat,
strange.
he's not angry, he's just disappointed. What happened, Storm Twister?
If there is anything in terms of foul play, make sure you do get a clip of it.
Exactly.
We will look at it.
Absolutely.
Oh, Moss has a little nibble at the wall coming out in the final corner. As I say, we alluded to it in qualifying. You do have to be kind of patient through that final corner. It's not a simple sort of acceleration zone like any others. You do have to be a little bit conscious of your traction out of there. But Leroy is starting to gap Canon Ultra a little bit. It's heading up towards about 2 seconds. Coming up to his teammate behind Redding. He's having a nice solid race here. He's quietly going about his business. And in P17. What else have we got going on at the moment? There's a nice little battle over P9 actually. So Fresh Agent, who stopped slightly earlier, he's on a set of hards, has found himself behind the very recently pitted Mello on softs. Would suspect that Mello has just hit him with a move actually, which has probably put him in that position. Everything else, Moss and Flecky still kind of line astern, so Moss has got past Flecky again somewhere. We didn't see it. Let's jump on board with Flecky. Let's ride out this because they're about to come into the DRS zones. So let us see. So DRS for Flecky. Doesn't start until this banner. Yep, there he goes. On he comes. DRS is battery. Moss trying to shake him from the slipstream. You don't want to be doing that
Getting
too
close.
much. Yeah, takes the defensive line. Flecky, has he got the grip around the outside?
Just gets it done.
Left. Yeah, it's a good move from Flecky. Good move. Job done. Oh, Moss coming back at him despite having no DRS.
Side by side, it's a tricky line,
one to get
but
right. Yep,
he does get it
on the
right.
outside. Oh, this is fantastic racing from these two. You are seeing the pros, everybody, to racing with the same people over and over again. You get to be able to put your lives. I know it's a video game, but you get to, in that kind of degree of trust, you can put absolute faith in the guys that you know how they race. You know that they're going to give you the room, and it can produce some absolutely fantastic racing.
This is some crazy. Hang on, Callum Ultra is obviously is certainly sitting in P2, but he's just sitting quite nicely. Just 8/10, just sitting there like that.
Yep. 8 laps though. These 8 laps after their pit stops, these guys were probably just hitting into the phase where Leroy softs are starting to sort of wear off a little bit. So that's probably explained why he's come back at him. Obviously, two different ways of doing the two-stop here from both of these guys. Callum Ultra's going for the safer soft, medium, whereas Leroy is trying to push the boat here with a soft, medium, I guess. Maybe a soft, hard. But you've got to be thinking, if you're Callum Ultra, it's just a case of letting it wait until he pits at this point. But we will see what he decides to do. If he decides to go for it on the track, I wouldn't blame him. We also don't know that whether Callum Ultra's going to a second set of mediums. I mean, that's just me assuming. He could be trying to go for the old soft, medium, soft around here. It is difficult, but it can be done. Flecky and Moss continuing this battle. Flecky's passed again. It just seems to be going lap after lap at this point. Leroy does go straight on and carries on his softs. So he's literally trying to wring all the life out of these bad boys.
It just seems like he's quite
probably trying to guarantee a medium
just
finish
sitting in his
instead of a hard
slipstream at the minute is Callum. He knows that just by sitting there and doesn't need to make any moves, he knows that he's going to be on the quicker tyres at the end. So even if they box on the very same lap, he's going to come out on quicker tyres and is going to have his opportunity to overtake. He's just being patient and enjoying the slipstream, basically. Thought I was froze. No, sorry. You're all good.
Nice
Up and down the grid. VXR though, looking like he's making a. Ooh.
Yeah, I was literally just about to allude to it. Yeah, two guys that have raced each other a lot again. Different game. Obviously, they're more used to racing each other on Forza Horizon, but here they are again. So VXR, 1 lap younger tyres. Sinister does also have a penalty. He won't be caring much for that at the moment. The penalties, Mr. VXR. He will purely want to get his talking done on the track. You never really want to, even if it is a substantial penalty, you never really want to rely on that fully. Got MK2 Ellis mixing it with Mello as well. I think it's a similar system to what we're seeing up front. Leroy has indeed pit from the lead, but similarly I think we're at the point where Mello's softs, well, they're only 5 laps old actually. Maybe not too many grip issues. It's more so an indication of the pace that we know Mark II Ellis has. As VXR now up the inside of Born 2 Sinister, using that slipstream on that ridiculously long back straight that, as I say, you can probably time yourself going down in calendar months.
It just goes on and on. But even with DRS and a decent sort of toe and stuff like that, sometimes it seems to take an age to sort of like rein in that gut.
So there's a nice little train here actually, sort of Mello, MK2 Ellis, Fresh Agent, Mercy. They're all sort of similar distance apart. Not close enough for any DRS trains or anything like that. But they are battling it out on different tyre strategies. Blocky has made his pit stop. He's back on a set of mediums. You've got to think that he's going to the end on a fresh set. Let's see how high he can get up from currently in P12, unless he goes to a 3-stop. He's obviously got an option of a set of softs at the end, knowing that he's probably going to be one of the very few people with very little wear on a set of soft tyres. So it's all down now to Callum Ultra. How much of a gap can he pull out? So when he comes to stop, will he be A, in front or behind Leroy, and B, will he have enough time to make up any gap if he does come out behind? We shall see. Flecky and Moss again for the, I think, about 9th, 10th lap in a row have swapped positions again. They are yo-yoing around each other currently. And Sinister now following a little bit far back from VX. He's got a good bit of pace, VX, around this track. I know from knowing him personally, it's not one of his favourite tracks, but he has a habit sometimes of these tracks. He gets in a very good zone. He doesn't say a lot. He just gets his head down, just sees the apexes, just picks them off one by one, and he's very, very good at it. Quiet race down the bottom for Mr. Hansen as well, kind of lonely.
It is. You can see Redding currently sitting there. He's just gone into the pits, as has Butters, both out on brand new mediums. VXR now comes into the pits as well. Callum Ultra jumps in.
And it is a second set of medium tyres. So I think
that is intrigued me.
Yeah, you got to think he's in the window for a set of softs.
I thought maybe a set of softs. I thought those mediums could have gone a lot longer. I mean, 14 laps on mediums. I thought you could have pushed that to maybe 16, 17 and then had a decent stint on soft tyres. But no, apparently not. Leroy is on 1 lap old mediums. He's going to have to get a bit of a scoot in his boot.
Not very much here, is it? Similar age tyres, and I think, well, there's still a long way to go yet.
Is that 1 lap going to make the difference?
The soft medium gamble from Leroy is looking to be the smart one at the moment. But this is the closest, I lied. Closest battle on the track is Born 2 Sinister against Fresh Agent down for P8. Sinister just makes the move. So I believe that is at the DRS zone just as you start sector 3, but he is, oh no, Agent came back at him. Sinister couldn't get the move done down there. But yeah, this Callum Ultra Leroy battle, probably the most important in terms of the championship, and it's pretty much the closest on track. Flecky and Moss are a similar distance apart, but they just seem to be taking turns leading laps, to be perfectly honest with you.
I gotta say though,
yeah,
Callum, I think Callum wants it done early. I honestly do. I think Callum wants the move done early. I don't think he wants to sit behind and kind of just sort of like, you know, wait about. I think he wants to take the opportunity, get ahead, and see if he can put out a little bit of a gap. But you know, look, it's going to be a tough ask. Flecky at the minute on 14 lap olds, Moss in P2 13 lap old mediums. Both are going to be pushing, but they're surely going to be able to box for soft tyres.
They are. It'll be very interesting to see where they come out. As Flecky and Moss, they both pit. No one taking a gamble that the extra lap is the wrong option. No one willing to make that gamble. But yeah, I agree with you. I think Callum Ultra needs to get this move done sooner rather than later. What he doesn't want
is he going to get it done here?
And let the heat, let the extra wear build up, and basically effectively nullify his the laps he's got in hand in terms of age of these tyres. Here he comes then, second DRS zone.
Can he do it? Can he do it?
Is he close enough?
Oh, there's a little bit of a front wheel bump with the side pod. No damage, no kind of harm done. He'll back off a little bit and bide his time. Flecky and Moss come into the pit. They both go softs. As expected, they're going to do 10 laps to the end on soft tyres. This is the real battle though. But, knowing the state of the championship, I don't think Leroy would mind P2. I really do not think he would. Not sure who holds fastest lap at the moment. That will surely, as Adam Hansen, right on cue, sets the fastest lap of the race, a 1:17.703. We're going to stay on board with Callum Ultra then. See what he's doing.
Yep, round 2. So round 2 then, Callum Ultra, still no way past Leroy.
It is, isn't it?
Leroy
It's boxing rounds.
Callum a little bit wide on the exit there. What Callum Ultra doesn't want to do, he doesn't really want to go searching for temps through some of these corners, because it could very easily, 1 3-second penalty here and that's race over. Oh, here we go then, round 3.
Flecky gets a 3-second time penalty though. That could greatly change the final podium spot. Oh, okay, my goodness me. Can Callum Ultra get past Leroy? There's still plenty of laps. He's close enough. Not this time. This is getting quick. This is getting really quick, really close, really tense. Oh, can he do it here? He's got good overspeed. He's got the extra tyre life. Tries it round the outside. That's good. That's good. That's a great move around the outside. Keeps it fair. Really, really well done from BLT Leroy as well. Giving the space, driving sensibly, but Leroy is going to go nowhere. He is going to be right on his gearbox and is just as likely to get back past him. Wow. Now, AJ, if you were WKD Moss, are you just going to sit in that little 3-second window, or are you going to look to try and push and see if you can get an overtake done?
I mentioned this earlier. You don't really ever want to rely on penalties, but he does have the luxury. He can sit there. He doesn't have to do anything. He can literally make sure that he can just sit and wait on Flecky. Obviously, if he does get an opportunity, then you'd just grab it with both hands, because obviously you'd always like to be the car in front. Because if you are the car in front, you can control how quickly the guy behind you goes. But he is under no pressure at the moment to let him, or to get past him. He doesn't need to at this point, quite frankly. So Leroy choosing to sit behind for now. He's just not close enough. It'd be interesting to see what presets these two are on, actually. Leroy does have, even when Callum Ultra had the DRS, Leroy had some good pulling power. So if I had to hazard a guess, I think we know that Leroy is on preset 4. I would hazard a guess that Callum Ultra is on preset 3. Considering he seems to be faster through all this twisty stuff, but Leroy is like a rocket down these straights.
If you're Leroy, do you go for it? This is my other sort of like question. With the way that the championship is right now, I'd be happy with P2. That's just me. Look, we all like, we all want to win, but in terms of winning the Drivers' Championship, P2 is more than good enough. After this, there is only 3 races left.
Absolutely.
So do you risk it for those extra kind of, 7 points? Or do you happily sit back and just enjoy the buffer? Because I believe with the points difference, Leroy could quite happily stay behind Callum Ultra pretty much to the end of the season. I think he needs one race to finish ahead of him, and that's about it.
It would come down to fastest laps, but Leroy is in a good position where he just needs seconds all the way through this season. And
we do have a back marker though. It seems like we do have a back marker, but Assassin in a really awkward spot again, diving out of the way.
I feel sorry for Assassin. It's not a space where you want two cars.
Here comes Leroy. Assassin's getting way too close. Now he's backed off a little bit. Side by side, it's going to be Leroy's corner. They are literally side by side. Callum Ultra holds on. Maybe those 2-lap younger mediums are just paying off a little bit. Leroy's not going to accept it. Play sensible though. 6 laps remaining though, people. 6 laps remaining. Let's have a look at Mertzy, who's getting rather close to Blocky in front. He is on the slower tyre though. Starting to see a few more penalties come in as people push the track limits a little bit.
Yep.
Could dramatically change the order of things, especially at the top with Moss and Flecky. Moss getting ever closer. It'd be a good day for the Red Bull guys with Moss on the podium. Butters currently sits P15 and out of the points.
Redding well out of the way. He wants no part of this title fight, considering one of the participants is his teammate.
He's doing well. Leroy in the slipstream again. This is real pressure, folks. Let's not forget that. These guys want to win. These guys are driving extremely well. Fast cars, tricky circuit. It's all very, very fine margins. Leroy's got a good run here, but again, backs off, realises he's not quite got the overspeed that he needs to get the move done sensibly and safely. You do not want to risk ruining your race, especially right now, at this late in the race. It's not worth it, unless it's a really simple, clear-cut overtaking move. It's not worth it. It's just not worth it.
Now, as I say, it's a move that Leroy doesn't really need to make. And we've said it a number of times, he can afford second places at this point. Especially knowing Leroy, this is not a track that he would put at the top of his list. I think we can both say with the utmost confidence. He has his fair share of moans about this place. So to save it for a track, he's got a good couple of tracks coming up from Mr. Jenkins.
God, it's so close between Flecky and Moss at the minute. Moss is trying to find a way past, but with Flecky's time penalty, he doesn't need to. But you want to. That's the thing. You want to win it outright. Either way, Flecky is going to get some good points for the AlphaTauri.
Everything in your brain says that you want to do it and try to prove that even if they didn't have the penalty, that you had them.
Oh dear.
Sometimes it's the battle is not with the person you are racing. It's the battle against yourself to make you not do something stupid.
That gap now at the top, now over a second. Leroy, I think, recognising that maybe, just maybe, the slightly older mediums are not enough to get him over the line for P1. I don't think he's going to give up, though. He'll still be using that DRS. We got Mertzy in P11 at the minute, currently 1.5 seconds behind Agent. The battle for the last point at the minute, both on 6-lap old mediums. But great drive from Blocky though.
Yeah, it's a good drive from Blocky. He's up to P9. Does have penalties though, but luckily so do the guys behind him as well. The next man he really wants to have a look at is Seamus. He's about 10, 11, 12 seconds, or 10, 11 seconds back. He's the first one and a clean slate behind him. So it's a good recovery drive from Blocky. He was looking in real trouble after that.
It's impressive to go on the hard tyres early on and to sort of, you know, keep the nose clean and come out and be able to score some points for the team with Sinister in P6 as well. It looks like the Merc boys will come away with good points. We're looking at MK2 Ellis. He's currently still within a second of Mellow Cover. Neither of them have points. Has he got enough to mount an overtake? He's got 1 lap old fresher soft tyres. Maybe in these dying laps it's going to be enough, but you can see the little puff of smoke. He keeps on just locking up the fronts a little bit. He's pushing like crazy. My goodness me, man needs an early night, quite clearly. This may be, I think, the next run on the start-finish straight could be the one for Ellis here. 0.6 of a second behind him. Just needs a really good run out of the final corner. Doesn't look like he locks up. Hopefully he has enough ERS. But he's always seems to be that little bit too far back.
Yeah.
He's drawing him in here, but it's not enough. Not sure what the fuel situations are either, whether he's got enough fuel on board to really push these last couple laps. It's tricky. It's really tricky. Again, a big lockup on the front left. It's hard work. Wicked Moss is actually fallen back a little bit. Now 2.3 seconds behind Flecky. With 1 lap to go, does Flecky potentially sniff the opportunity to get a decent enough gap? Well, it's all to play for. We're going to ride on board with the current race leader then. The final lap of the Mexican Grand Prix has a 2-second gap. Leroy, it seems, quite happy to take a P2 here. It's lots of great points for his championship battle. Callum Ultra, the man that's chasing him, he'll happily accept the extra points, but it's not enough. More is going to be needed in the next few races if Callum Ultra is going to win, or at least really compete for the Drivers' Championship. Last time through the slalom section, keeps it fantastically clean here. What a great camera angle that is from the helicopter. Into the baseball section. There we go. Look at that, the way it lights up. The ticker tape, the lights are gone. Look at that, looks fantastic. Final corner then. GG's Callum Ultra 234, the winner of the Mexican Grand Prix. Leroy across the line for P2. Flecky, it currently comes across the line in P3, but with his time penalty, has he done enough to keep Moss at bay? No, he hasn't.
He hasn't.
Moss grabs the final podium spot. What a drive from VXR44 Gaming, by the way. Comes in P5. P5 after getting knocked out. Q2. A phenomenal drive from him. Sinister and the rookie on debut in P7. GG's, Moss. Great drive from him. Mello goes to P8. Mertzi into P9. Blocky, a DNF right at the end, by the looks of it. Mertzi round the final corner. Agent is set to join him as well for the final points scoring positions. Woo! Wow. GG's, everybody. What a race.